this Committee on Spirituality, Values, and Global Concerns has played in helping to create this history. The spiritual history of the United Nations actually began with its creation, as the organization itself has the beautiful preamble to its charter, which is a deeply spiritual document that is the foundation upon which the UN was built. And while I'm sure many in this room are familiar with the preamble and probably have it memorized in the deep recesses of the sacred chamber of your hearts, I think it is worth reading again because the words are so very beautiful. We, the peoples of the United Nations, determined to save succeeding generations from the scourge of war, which twice in our lifetime has brought untold sorrow to mankind, and to reaffirm faith in fundamental human rights, in the dignity and worth of the human person, in the equal rights of men and women, and of nations large and small, and to establish conditions under which justice and respect for the obligations arising from treaties and other sources of international law can be maintained, and to promote social progress and better standards of life in larger freedom. And for these ends, to practice tolerance and live together in peace with one another as good neighbors, and to unite our strength to maintain international peace and security, and to ensure by the acceptance of principles and the institution of methods that armed force shall not be used save in the common interest, and to employ international machinery for the promotion and of the economic and social advancement of all peoples. These beautiful words should be read over and over again, because it really defines the deeply spiritual purpose for which this organization was founded, and are the organizing principles upon which all of its work is generated. Around this international guiding institution has sprung up a very vibrant civil society of affiliated NGOs that support the spiritual work of the UN. Particularly worth mentioning is, in the history of the UN, is the Values Caucus, the Spiritual Caucus, this Committee of the Committee of Religious NGOs, the Permanent Forum on Indigenous Issues, all of the NGOs listed at the back of the program, and of course this Committee on Spirituality, Values, and Global Concerns, which was founded in 2004. The mission statement of this committee sets forth its aims to integrate spirituality and values into all areas of the United Nations agenda and of public policy. It aspires to support the spiritual principles, global ethics, and universal values such as respect, justice, peace, dignity, freedom, responsibility, and cooperation that underlie the work of the United Nations, as reflected in the Charter of the UN and the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. The committee supports the recognition and acceptance that spirituality and adherence to universal values are key factors in providing solutions to global concerns. This committee recognizes the importance of connecting with our divine essence, inner wisdom, and the oneness of all life. It believes that an increased awareness and application of the importance of a value, spirit, and soul-conscious dimension at all levels of society, and particularly at the United Nations, will allow for the finest and highest levels of human potential to flourish for the benefit of all. As we recognize more and more our inherent nature as spiritual beings, we are tasked to fulfill our responsibility to unfold those works that become expressions of our true purpose in life. And that is to manifest the deep compassion, caring, and love for one another. It is always a privilege to be in the company of people who live by the principles of love, compassion, and caring for each other. And I honor all of the tireless workers for peace, the tireless, unknown workers to shine the light of inspiration upon the millions and millions of people all around the world who are in the midst of the many global challenges which we read about and hear about in real time throughout our media. And while these challenges call to our consciousness the deep concerns that we have about the polarizations within the global community, it also calls upon each and every one of us to tap as a necessity into the deep innermost recesses of our own creativity to come forth and find those solutions that will speak to our ability to join hands together in collaboration and cooperation, in the recognition that there is no one person, no one country, no one actor that acts in isolation, for we are all connected, and the behavior of one impacts all of us. So it is incumbent upon each and every one of us in the recognition of our role, not only as individuals, but as global citizens, to do the ceaseless, fearless self-examination, to see how we must change as individuals to become better persons, to improve always our thoughts, our speech, and our actions, to become expressions of that love itself, that compassion itself, that kindness itself. And I call to mind the words of Mother Teresa, who said the only religion is kindness. And so in our daily lives, where we are is the holy ground, and we must ask ourselves, have I been that expression of kindness in every thought that I have thought, in every word that I have expelled from my mouth, and every action that has exuded from my physical form? For if we cannot demonstrate in the ordinariness of daily life loving kindness in action, then we are only talking about philosophy and ideology. And it is the call of the divine essence in each and every one of us that we must become that vehicle of the expression of the sacred and divine will that calls upon each and every one of us, every moment that we live, to be able to be that shining light of inspiration and hope to all those whose lives we touch. That is our inherent nature. That is our inherent responsibility, that we together may join hands and become that collective consciousness of the loving presence, as above, so below, that this divine will expressing through all the myriad of infinite manifestations as we, as individuals, come to shine that glowing light of love for each other. All of the efforts that are made by the tireless workers for peace, I wish to express my deepest appreciation to all of you and to all the nameless, faceless, unsung heroes who work tirelessly day in and day out to do the best that they can in their great sacrifice to make this world a better place. and to be expressions that support our underlying unity that together creates the beautiful tapestry that tells the story of mankind and how we tried our best together to honor the dignity and sacredness of all of life. To the Committee on Spirituality, Values, and Global Concerns, and all of their members who make such events as today possible, and for all of the work that you unfold throughout the years, my deep and abiding appreciation. And to our wonderful awardees, who too have been tireless workers over many years, and have, I'm sure, shed many blood, sweat, and tears in their tireless work, we express our eternal gratitude. Thank you so much.